Morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. A few updates. First off, of course, thank you so much for supporting my channel, for all your beautiful comments. My Facebook is about to hit 11,000, which is unheard of, and I'm pretty chuffed about that. Firstly, I've got sort of this news that I've got a job and I'm going to start next Monday. This means that although I will still do some personal readings, I'm going to be a lot more restricted as to whether I can get the daily readings up or not. So I'm going to still try to do them, but they may be a little intermittent. There will be days like last week when I just feel too tired to get online. I'm a human being after all. Tomorrow I am in Melbourne, so I'll be leaving really early tomorrow morning, so I won't promise to do readings tomorrow, but I should be right for Wednesday, and I did say I'd try and get online on Wednesday. So at this stage, I think I have a reading booked about 9 o'clock, so I'll try and get it on either at 8 or 10, so keep an eye out for me if your phone buzzes. In regards to that, my bookings for this week are a little bit more limited. I do have time this afternoon if you want a reading, or else there is some time Wednesday and Friday and a little bit of time Thursday afternoon. So that you can access them on www.theaussiegoddess.com. A couple of people said they can't find any readings on there, but I'm not quite sure why that is. So if you do have any difficulty, please contact me directly. theaussiegoddess@gmail is my best email. Okay, is that everything? All right, we're going to use the Arcanum Tarot today, seeing as I didn't move it. I cleaned all my office and tried to make some adjustments, but didn't change the cards, which I thought I was going to do. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands coming through. The Eight of Wands for me is a card that talks about communication, somebody communicating. It is a card that talks about messages across the airways, but over time it has got this sort of, I guess, a bit of a reputation for being I guess the arrows of love come to mind. It's sort of that sort of energy. So let's have a look and see what it is. Now, we do have a card in reverse. Now, this does happen, and I do obviously honor reversals. There is something here that you want to move forward on, something you've been waiting for that hasn't come along, and it looks as though it's about to come in. So you may be receiving communication that you thought you weren't going to get because you held back. This is going to make you feel extremely happy. In fact, with the Empress here, could be news in regard to a new baby, pregnancy. It could be in regard to a job or an opportunity. So whatever it is here, you're coming up as the Empress. Now, keep in mind, it could be a message from an Aries as well. There is definitely communication coming through. Look at all the communication. Somebody wants to talk who turned their back on you, but there's a love card here. So whoever this person is, it looks as though either you or they turned their back on you, but it looks as though you're getting an opportunity to communicate again. Something you felt would never happen. And it's sort of coming out of the blue, but there's a lot of energy around movement, communication, possibly moving forward here, but definitely feeling like somebody is very passionate about getting something off the ground. All right, so we're starting off with the Ten of Swords, with the Six of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. Immediately, I've got this energy that two people turned their backs on each other. So it could have been a fairly sort of mutual thing, but I feel like whatever it was, there was good reason, and there could have been another person involved. Definitely feeling that there was something closed off from the past here. Now, if this isn't romantic for you, it could be a female relative, mother, somebody who is ready to apologize, I feel here with that Queen of Swords. So air sign coming through strongly, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and also water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Somebody is really, really keen here to get something back on track. I think that they've tried to leave it behind. They've tried to work their way around it, but they cannot They cannot do this. There are two people here. So it's either that you and another person have been at odds here, or this person had another person in the picture. And often with the Queen of Swords, she can mean divorce, separation. There's still love here, though, with the Queen of Cups. All right, let's keep going. All right, have the Seven of Swords with the Seven of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. You know, it's really, this sort of energy here makes me feel a little uncomfortable. So there is a feeling of distrust when the Seven of Swords comes around, and there's also the feeling, which I get quite a lot, of self-sabotage. But because it's sort of sitting with the Seven of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, it has this energy that somebody can't let something go. Now, we've all been in this position when somebody wants to make up with us and we're really excited about making up and we're really happy about it, and the other person will not let the past go. They just keep harping on about what went on. It doesn't matter. You can apologize a million times. It won't make a difference. Some people are really unable to let go of their own pain. They haven't worked through their own pain. But there's a real feeling of jealousy and feelings here that just are not being let go. They're being taken out. So I'm feeling here that you need to be aware that even if this person seems anxious to communicate, that they may be unable to let the past go. They may still blame you for that. It has all the feelings of maths across it at the moment, if you've been watching maths with me. It is my guilty pleasure. But there is a real strong feeling here that somebody's still quite bitter about the past and unable to let things go. And there is, of course, because of that, a feeling, there is the Victory card. But there's also a feeling of whether you really want to sort of move forward with this or not. It sort of makes me feel like it isn't romantic, but it could be if you're dealing with someone who finds it really hard to let things go. To be honest, with the Victory card there, it looks like you're going to get through it. It does look positive, but for me, that sort of energy in the middle makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable on the stomach. So, for example, if there was an issue around jealousy, then that needs to be resolved before you could move forward with a person. Because it's still very much in the energy here. Now, it could be you. It could be that you're having trouble moving forward. But very often that's because we haven't healed ourselves. I'm not saying you have to forgive people or you have to let things go, but you have to make a decision on whether that is the best thing in this particular scenario. I really do feel for some of you, though, this is not a romantic thing. It feels much more, I'm going to put some more cards on it. It feels much more like some sort of situation that you've turned your back on or walked away from, but you're dealing with somebody who is unable to let go of the past and is reliving it with you, even though they want to make up. Now, for me, this has a strong family vibe on it. Some people can't let things go. Whether or not that's a trauma response or whether it is a childhood issue, some people just, it doesn't matter what you do, they will never let go. And I feel like here you've got a Victory card and you've got the Two of Pentacles, so there does seem to be some sort of decision to move forward. I feel like here there's a real feeling of self-respect within you with that Queen of Wands, and I do feel you're turning your back on the situation. However, because the Victory card is here, it is possible you could work through this. If it is romantic, it might take for you to sit down with somebody else and sort of have some sort of mediation, but it doesn't feel very comfortable, that energy. All right, so I have communication coming through. I feel like it was some sort of communication perhaps that you didn't expect, and I feel like you're going to be happy enough to accept it. I do think that no matter what happens here, you've got some closure or resolution on the past here. So it's almost like even if it doesn't amount to anything, even if the relationship never takes off, it doesn't matter, because for you, you've resolved something. For you, it's put something right in your own head. Maybe you've always blamed yourself, thinking that Nine of Cups just ran out there. So there is a wish being granted. But to me, it's sort of like that energy of it doesn't matter. I've got what I need from that and I can move on now. So maybe it was a miscommunication that you've always sort of maybe regretted in some way, shape or form. Maybe you were taking the blame on yourself and you're now realizing it's not your blame. But whatever this is, it does make me feel like you're getting something out of this for sure. Let's have a look. All right, so we have the Two of Swords with that Nine of Cups. It just jumped out at me too. The Knight of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Yes, there's definitely an equaling of the ground. So if you do resolve this, because there is a wish coming true here, it's possible you can move forward, but I feel like somehow or another a decision has to be made around letting the past go and having a clean slate. If you're dealing with someone who still keeps pulling up the past, that can be really difficult to move forward on. But I feel like here, ultimately, you're getting around that somehow. I do see somebody wanting to definitely apologize, make something right, but just feel that one person is really finding it very difficult to let something go. And quite rightly so, as if in the past there was an unequal sort of power balance in this situation. If you were dealing with somebody who was too controlling or too maybe a little narcissistic, had a few narcissistic tendencies, found it hard to see things their way, were blameless, those sort of energies there, you may not be able to work with. Let's face it, you can only buckle again. And you probably did that in the first place with that Six of Pentacles. So sometimes what we do is, and we do it a little bit with children, and that's sort of okay to a certain degree, but I guess you still have to be careful. But sometimes we back down a little bit because we don't want the conflict, or we want things to ease, or we don't want to deal with it, or whatever else. The problem is with backing down on conflict and not sort of addressing it or finding some way to get around it, it will give the other person power if you're giving your power away. We do it a bit with kids because we think with kids, well, we choose our battles. We can be really strict on them, and we might be strict on them several times, and we might let something go a little bit in order to teach them something about being able to resolve something for themselves. But if we're talking adults here, I feel like you're dealing with somebody who may be having a lot of trouble letting go of the past. And again, that makes me feel like it's more possible that we could be talking about a family member or a friend rather than a romantic thing. I'm pretty sure not many romantic relationships get off the ground if you keep forgiving someone and not holding them accountable. Okay. And it's hard when you really feel that, strong love for somebody, but I think that you still have to assert your power. Otherwise, you're just going to go straight back in exactly where you left off, and there goes another cycle. All right, no place like home is coming out here. Okay, it's card 50, which is number 5, and I've gone straight to it. Authenticity. Coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, and being comfortable in your own skin. So I feel like Spirit is saying to you here, if it doesn't feel good, don't accept it. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your identity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. So one of you has done probably a bit of growing in this time. You know who you are, you hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, which is always my thing too, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit with Spirit. So that's really interesting. So I feel like maybe that's what's happened here. Maybe you've done a lot of work. Maybe you are in a position to see this for what it truly is. But you know it. It's just that you tend to sort of drown out the voices if you're feeling like you want something that badly, especially if it is romantic for you. You might find that you keep sort of ignoring things rather than dealing with them, but you're just going to repeat that same pattern. And sometimes people say to me, I don't understand what the patterns are. And I think you haven't seen them for yourself yet. You need to be the observer. You need to watch what's going on, because sometimes we don't see things until we've got really deep into that toxic energy. And once you're in that toxic energy, then the only person you will question is yourself, because you didn't see. So hopefully that has resonated with you. Thank you for joining me.